Picture this: a hardworking family, slaving away at their jobs day in and day out. But every time they get paid, the greedy government swipes a massive portion of their well-earned money in taxes. So much gets taken that the poor family can barely afford basic necessities like food, clothes, or fun activities after paying the tax man. To some, that might seem like an unfair, even nightmarish scenario. But for many people across the world, overtaxation and ridiculously complicated tax systems have made this dangerous reality a fact of life. What if I revealed that badly implemented tax policies pose legitimate economic, ethical, and political hazards that put whole societies at risk? Sure, reasonable taxes serving legit public purposes like roads, schools, and emergency services, we're all for it. But we're also not going to sit back while most nations' tax codes become overinflated, bureaucratic nightmares that strangle hardworking citizens and businesses from realizing their full potential. If you've long felt your paycheck getting unjustly robbed but could never articulate why, this video will equip you with easy-to-understand, rock-solid arguments. We'll also envision alternative, simpler, saner ways to fund public needs without all the current crippling downsides. Get pumped for an adrenaline-rushing, spotlight-shining expedition sure to blow your mind on this issue impacting us all. Imagine a family where mom and dad both work crazy hard, but can barely scrape by after tax time. Between federal and state income taxes stolen right off their paychecks, to taxes on basic expenses like gas, utilities, and more, over 40% of what they earned that year got confiscated. With so little take-home after taxes, they can't afford to save for emergencies, much less shell out for little Timmy's future college dreams. This example shows how excessive taxation poses constant financial strain and burden for ordinary families just trying to get by. When such large chunks of people's earnings are seized by the government, it's basically economic robbery that prevents them from ever getting ahead or enjoying decent quality of life. Unreasonably high taxes undermine personal freedom and chances of upward mobility. Economic researchers did a big study on how corporate tax rates impact business investment and hiring over many years across different countries. The data showed that in places like the US, where companies get hit with over 35% taxes on profits, those excessive rates directly correlated with way less business growth and expansion compared to average. These numbers reveal a major economic pitfall that overtaxation creates. When companies' profits are heavily taxed, they have much less money available to reinvest in creating new jobs, products, and overall growth. Excessive corporate taxes starve productivity, innovation, and strangle a nation's economic potential. Throughout history, unjust, excessive taxation of the masses by oppressive rulers has repeatedly foreshadowed major violent upheavals. From the American Revolution against unfair British taxation without fair representation, to the French people's revolt overthrowing a greedy aristocracy that taxed them into poverty. Overtaxation sparks the angriest of public flames. Now listeners, this is absolutely not a call for dangerous modern tax riots or uprisings. That would be unwise and asking for trouble. However, these iconic rebellions show that when citizens perceive tax policies as rapacious, confiscatory injustices, it plants seeds of widespread instability that can escalate into backlash that violently uproots entire regimes from within. Avoiding such anarchic unrest is in everyone's interest through reasonable, non-excessive taxation. Let's use our wildest imaginations to visualize a system where instead of heavily taxing people's hard-earned incomes, business profits, and every single purchase, the government collected revenues through way smarter channels, like reasonably tapping into fees on shared natural resources or leveraging monster returns from invested public funds to pay for society's needs. This make-believe scenario illustrates that we absolutely have alternative options to the traditional over-reliance on punitive taxation of private earnings, transactions, and growth. If leaders can get innovative and open-minded, public funds could be generated by monetizing assets we all theoretically co-own as a people, or investment strategies that don't discourage productivity and entrepreneurship through excessive taxation. There are ethical, economically sustainable paths available. And that's a supercharged dose of truth on why tax is dangerous. If we allow these convoluted, overreaching taxing systems to keep oppressing hardworking citizens and choking off business potential. To be crystal clear, this is in no way some fringe anti-tax soapbox. Having a well-structured system to fund legit public goods and services through reasonable contributions is vital. No debate there. However, as this animated exposé hopefully drove home through mind-blowing facts and examples, taxation's levels in most nations have become full-on hazardous ticking time bombs, if not defused and reformed like right now. The risks of economic suppression, eroding public trust, and triggering unrest scenarios are too catastrophic to ignore any longer. It's time to rebel against the old taxation paradigms and rebuild fee-collecting frameworks optimized for new realities. Simplified, secure systems tapping into sensible public asset monetization, rather than punitively taxing achievements through blood, sweat, and hard work. If this awakens everyone to start visualizing better policy options, we can fund ample public reinvestment without the economic and ethical pitfalls of overtaxation. A true win-win. Did these harsh realities of the tax world shake you out of your state-worshipping slumber? How would you reconfigure the system more fairly? Or maybe you totally disagree with these heretical views. Drop those hot takes in the comments to keep this heated convo going. And if you want to keep receiving ultra-dope, mind-expanding content that'll blow your brains out weekly, you better smash that subscribe and notification bell right now. Thanks for joining this uncensored, limit-breaking exploration into society's biggest issues. I'll see you renegades at the next video insurrection.